Dr. John Ayoola Akinyemi. I'm 82 years young. I was born in Nigeria, West Africa, and I came to this great country, the land of plenty, in 1963. So if you do the arithmetic, I've been here 61 blessed years. I have two adult children, Adedoyin Akinyemi, the daughter. She's an RN, and I have a son, Olutobi Omoshola Akinyemi, who is 1 year younger. My two adult children were born a year minus 1 day apart, so I keep schedule. My everyday looks blessed every day. I wake up early in the morning, usually to the radio that turns on at exactly 7:30 a.m. It's a radio that broadcasts religious music. Every day I say a prayer for my children. See, somebody once told me, parenting is a duty that you cannot ever retire from. Well, I've been retired from the Marine Corps after serving the Department of Defense as a big umbrella for 27 years. My favorite hobbies, I enjoy singing, I enjoy writing, I enjoy gardening, I enjoy just reflecting on the goodness of God. Every day, even though it seems like a routine, I find it so pleasurable. And I say to myself, now that I'm retired, I'm my own boss. I can do whatever I choose, whatever time I choose to do it. I write almost every day. I keep a journal. I keep a record of what I do, and I routinely call my children at 6 p.m. and 2 p.m. every single day. They are a joy. Every day is a new hope for me. I don't look at my daily routine as something boring. I look at it as one more chance to glorify God because I've seen the dawn of a new day. Gardening is therapeutic to me because I said to myself, how many 82-year-olds can bend down and get up and dig a hole and pull soil from one to the other? As a matter of fact, it's so therapeutic that if I get bored on a certain day and the weather is beautiful, I think of going to the garden. It's like, it's great uplifting experience. I think I was about 10 years old, and my mother took me to a synod. A synod is like a meeting of religious educators. It's like having a conference somewhere in the White House or in the anyway, it was a synod of Methodist ministers. And she told me, John, of course, Ayo is the short name for my middle name. He said, Ayo, one thing I'm going to ask of you to do, when we come back to our home, I want you to write a little essay on your experiences. So we did. And I recall so succinctly, so vividly, that my mother was my first grammatical corrector of that essay. So from that time, I had that inkling to write. And then when I came to Aurora College, I remember my English professor. She actually talked me into trying to have a double major. I had a cross with her. I remember her name. I had a course in creative writing, and I truly enjoyed that course. And she really wanted me to double major. But I knew, how can somebody from a British-speaking Nigeria with definite accent say I'm going to major in English? What am I going to do with English? But I persevered. And through her encouragement, I was able to write my very first poem, which was published in the National Anthology of College Poetry of 1965. I knew my beloved wife when she was 18 years old, and at that time I was 21 years old. We were friends at first. If you saw her college transcript and you saw my college transcript, you see we virtually had the same courses together. I was a year ahead of her in college. I dedicated the story to her because she was one of a kind. She was the best person that ever came into my life. I marvel sometimes how somebody from East Africa could meet somebody from West Africa in Aurora, Illinois, the cold country, the cold climate of Aurora, Illinois. So I dedicated the story to her because she was the biggest blessing that ever came to my life. As a matter of fact, those stories are absolutely true stories. She had said the same story to all of us, especially when I got together the family, when she was all mentally alert. As a matter of fact, she was alert for 72 years of her life. At 72 plus, that's when the doctor came up with that diagnosis of dementia. I dedicated it to her because she was, truly speaking, my better half. Our thoughts are so similar and amazingly similar. So dedicating a book to my wife is, without a doubt in my mind, the best thing I've ever done in my life. I had been trained. I write master's degree dissertation, doctoral dissertation, but this writing a book on her makes all those efforts pale in comparison. It's an output of a measure of love. It's deep reaching into my soul. She is my soul partner. And I just thank the good Lord for her life. The secret is moderation. Moderation. In whatever you do it with grace, do it with moderation, and just thank God. I've never, and so did she, we never drank alcohol in our lives. But that's not a condemnation on somebody else who may choose to wine his date or her date. The secret is moderation and knowing that you don't have all the answers. The secret lies in knowing that there is another idea, knowing that people may differ from your point of view. The secret is knowing how to disagree without being disagreed. The secret is to nurture this physical body, because if we don't nurture, we don't exercise these muscles, they atrophy, they become weak. So the secret is doing whatever I do it in moderation. I do it knowing that I don't know it all. I do it knowing there may be a better idea. I'm open to a new and better idea. The secret is just knowing who I am, whose son I am, and knowing what I want to do with my life. It is a life-changing event because emotionally, I've been used to this beloved wife in excellent health. As a matter of fact, she used to be my pilot whenever I take the family on a vacation. I'm willing to bet that she could have been a pilot, fly to the moon, and she'll find her way back. That's how sharp her mental acuity was. When she was diagnosed with dementia, I recall the day we had to live with the dementia, and it made a total change in my lifestyle, in the family lifestyle, and also in her lifestyle. The diagnosis was not easy to take. It was not easy to identify with. It was quite a challenge meeting up with the go-forward procedure. I'm proud to say I took care of my wife. I did not take her to a senior citizens quarter. I did not say, well, I cannot handle this. Everyday activity was a challenge. Not too many husbands, I dare say, out there, for you who are listening or watching, not too many husbands could do what I did. I'm not trying to pat myself on the shoulder. Please get that straight. I was so involved with, if I can say, somebody as I passed along, then my living shall not be in vain. I said to myself, this is my wife. I knew deep within myself that if the shoes had been turned around and I was the one that was diagnosed with dementia, I was absolutely convinced that she, my beloved wife, would take care of me the way I took care of her. So a daily routine would be waking her up and helping to bathe her. To bathe her, yes, you heard me right. To bathe her. Taking care of her was a challenge. It was the greatest assurance I had that I am living a purposeful and desirable life, helping the person who has been the closest person to me for 57 years. It was not a chore, it was an outpouring of love, an outpouring of affection, an outpouring of respect. And it's just amazing, amazing grace. So if I had to do it over again, I would rather have Agnes be taken care of in a one rancher one-floor setting of a home. And why? Because studies have indicated that falls are the greatest causes of senior citizens dying. We were very fortunate that she did not fall. Well, I'll take that back. At one time, she fell in the kitchen, and at the time, she did not use a ladder. She decided to stand on a chair, and evidently there was a slip. That was the greatest scare of my life. When I found that she had fallen, and I had to call the ambulance. Unfortunately and luckily, that was not consequential. So that's essentially what I would do. I would not have her go through those 4 years of dementia, recuperating or recovery or whatever term we ascertain to that in a 2-story home. The challenges facing the 15 to 18-year-olds today are enormous, but they are no different from the challenges that faced Agnes at age 15. 15 to 18-year-olds are very vulnerable. They think that they know it all. Aging and wisdom will show them that they do not know it all. I share the struggles, the memory of Agnes. For example, age 17. This is a true story. She was hired at a resort in New York to be a nanny for a family of 6 that rented a home in the resort. She had the duty, which was round the clock. She washed their clothing, ironed the clothing, including the underwear, if you can fathom that, of that family. And in return, they gave her at the time what I would say a pittance. And she told me this story that just wrecked my heart. She said the family would engage her in all those activities, and in return they'll give her sardine for meal. She said there was one time she was really hungry, and this is what broke my heart. And she said she observed an American who had just thrown a hamburger. Apparently he bought more than enough. He threw it in the garbage can. My wife picked up, unwrapped this hamburger, and ate it. What 15-year-olds can do that? I bet none. 15-year to 18-year-olds need to know, as I said earlier, that they don't really know what life is all about, even though they think they know it all. And they need to know the strength that comes with persevering. They need to change their mode of thinking to life in America is not just youth. Glamour. 15-year-old, 18-year-old say, oh, I'm an adult. What does an 18-year-old know in the context of world experiences and world knowledge? So I'm hoping that if they read this, the sojourn of Agnes at that age level, that they might be encouraged to know that there is a change. That if Agnes could go through all that, which is totally unthinkable to them, they might be encouraged to pursue. Pursuit of happiness is just not based upon instant gratification. Pursuit of happiness is based upon persistence and going and learning from hardship, from difficulties, and saying to yourself that despite all these travails, I will make it. Agnes went through that and she made it. She made it. She ended up working at the prestigious National Institutes of Health. She made it attending the historically black Howard University. She made it by persistence. She made it by knowing who she was. I am about 92% complete in writing my own autobiography. That autobiography is entitled Beyond 80. As the word implies, this is a story of my life for 8 decades. It's a soul-searching and an opportunity to reflect on the goodness of God in my life. Next, I have a book in the making. It is entitled 60 Years Later. It is a satire or a commentary on what I see from the day I arrived in America 60 years ago. I reminisced on things that would really floor our teenagers today, or even any person who was born after year 1970. I convey to my readers the sadness in my heart. And that sadness is America, this great nation, this land of plenty, will never be the same as America that I landed on in 1963. It's a sad reflection and at the same time a very encouraging phenomenon in which I reflected on the regular things. For example, I purchased a gallon of gasoline, filled my Volkswagen Beetle in 1965. And guess how much per gallon? 34 cents. Now, it sounds unreal. I noticed, and I went through this. If you go to a service station, when you fill your tank up, they will clean your windshield. They will open the hood, check your battery. Those days are gone. What I'm trying to say is, I have been privileged to see America in her pristine glory. I have been blessed to take advantage of the opportunities that avail themselves to me. I have been blessed to see so many people play the role of mentor in my life. And 60 years looking back, I say, oh my goodness. My dream going forward is captured in the song that I sang a little bit ago. If I can help somebody as I walk along, then my living shall not be in vain. My dream, I have a dream, and that dream is one day, hopefully before the good Lord calls me. That dream is medical science will find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. A lot is known about Alzheimer's, but there is no cure. I have a dream that someday in my lifetime, we finally find a cure for Alzheimer's disease.